it has to be AI, right? So I know right now it's the biggest and it's the greatest sort of buzzword. And yes, I know it's an emerging technology, which is being sold with huge potentials in CX and CS, which some of them are exaggerated, but regardless, what gets me excited is how can we use it to enable lean-minded teams to experiment and analyze and then execute MVP solutions at a faster rate with more confidence, right? So I personally use this, and my team personally uses a various multitude of AI tools that are available very openly on the market when we take on CX projects. And honestly, it's helped us a fair bit. Like it's reduced the workload. It's like sped up our time for delivery. And in some cases, like the quality of our end product is actually better than what it would have been, or it would have taken a lot longer to get there. So I'm really excited, not so much of like how big tech is going to be able to monetize this, but like how small lean teams are going to be able to use this to their own advantage. It's going to be very interesting to see the creative solutions that come out. I think AI ultimately is not going to be there to replace, but it's going to be there to aid. Like the replacement conversation, I think it may happen, but I think it's going to happen a long time. It's going to take a very long time for us to get there, right? But the aiding conversation is absolutely relevant. Like the question that we should be like putting our time and effort into is like, how does it aid our current workflow? Like, how can we make it faster and slow and with better quality? Not so much like, is it going to replace? Because I don't think that's going to happen soon. Look, this is always a tough one, but like 3 words. Look, pragmatic, I think is going to be one. So I come from an engineering background. I trained as an engineer. I worked for a little while, but then I was like, yeah, this is not my thing. However, in CX, big part of CX is project management, right? Like and this is where pragmatism helps you. You got to know your limitations, you got to know your risks, etc. And then that ultimately will lead you to delivery on time with high quality, because especially like delivering what you said you would deliver. So that has kind of like forced me, it's like helped me in a way, but it's also forced me to be more pragmatic because, I'm accountable somewhere. Yeah, I guess the next one would be sort of lean. I'm always talking about lean, doing more with less. I personally think this is a mindset sort of thing. Like creative problem solving has always been my forte. It's always been something that I really preach. I think it's accessible to all people. And I guess like if I'm kind of like saying this outwardly, I need to live this. Thus my answer previously, like I actively use AI to to be lean and to be able to do more creatively. But look, the most important one I have to say is it's hungry. Like I'm hungry to learn, right? I'm absolutely always open to hearing a different way of doing something, a different point of view. Like I have strong opinions, but I hold them quite loosely, right? So like if I'm never claiming to be the smartest or the loudest, but like I can't be pragmatic and lean if I'm not hungry to learn. So absolutely, if there's a better way of doing something, please tell me. And I'm 100% open to like changing my ways if you can convince me otherwise. So yeah, maybe those 3. Yeah, so this is actually a common question that comes up in conversations, right? Like, and I think, look, the way that I think about this is customer expectations and intention are 2 different things, right? Like, expectations will always change because they are influenced by current technology, current trend, but the intention of the customer kind of remains the same, right? Like, for example, at a very high level is like, someone in customer service, they're like, hey, I want to speak to someone quickly. I just want you to be available, right? That's their expectation, is availability. But the intention is not availability. The intention is like, I just want a speedy recovery. I just want a speedy and a satisfactory resolution to their problem, right? So our approach kind of is always to have a finger on the pulse of the customer. So we actively connect with customers proactively, through interviews, surveys, demo sessions, even we even get them involved in prototyping in some areas. Reactively, we look at their trends. We look at trends in our data. We look at trends from customer service query data. What this allows us to do is to stay aware of the reality. Like I said, like what customers are currently wanting. However, there is one thing to always be ready to sort of serve the customer in the way that they want, like always being aware, always being delivering for the customer. I don't absolutely subscribe to that level of thinking, because what I don't want to do is I don't want to fall over and not be led by our data. You know, if our data is showing that, hey, there is a certain journey and that's converting better or faster than a journey that possibly a customer is wanting, then we will be very, very bullish to push that journey. Absolutely, it's A/B testing, etc. But like 8 out of 10 times, we will push our journey, which is being led by data, because we ultimately know that that will serve the intention of the customer, not necessarily their expectation. Look, it's a balance, right? But I and the team are super bullish to test if our data is showing something one way. My passion is always to do more with less, and kind of like what I hope to inspire, maybe not inspire, but like what I hope to like tell people about is like, I think this is an attitude that's not only reserved for like lean startups or like scale ups, which don't have a lot of money to spend, but it's really for like corporations or teams of any size, right? It's like, and I'm also like very excited to share a few stories, because I feel like giving an example will really sort of spark creativity in other people's minds as well. Because this MVP culture that I try to push, and this mindset, which lets us sort of test and iterate in a rapid fashion, like this has resulted in some very serious wins for us, right? Like, and some losses, absolutely. So to keep us humble. So I think if that's one thing some of the leaders can come out from, is just hearing from someone else that the risk to experimentation is actually not as high as they think it may be. That would be a massive win in my books.